Oh, even without that?
Even without that, they didn't even give him his absolutely planetary stuff, and they absolutely lowballed the fuck out of the
Planetary.
flag.
Okay, bro. Well, oh, the flag. I have not seen that because I haven't seen any of it. I just heard all the complaints
Yes,
so far.
fucking planetary. He scales above the Death Devil, and the Death Devil scales above the fucking Falling Devil, and the Falling Devil was affecting gravity across the planet.
Yeah, but doesn't fuck. Okay, so what calculation that you provided got that to planetary? Because
The fact that
wouldn't that just be
her
like
mere
gravity?
existence
Right.
threw
Wouldn't
the
that?
gravity of the planet into flux.
Okay, but did the
She wasn't even
planet?
trying to harm the planet.
Okay, but like, wouldn't that just be a range feat?
No, because she's affecting
Bruh.
the entire planet.
Bruh. Bruh. Alright, so it sounds like you'll have a lot to say then about Denji and probably Yuji stuff too. I'm sure you won't let anything slide. So we'll give it a minute or two and then we'll start it up. So for some criteria.
You gonna fucking.
Oh, right. Sorry, I keep forgetting that you fucking. Yeah, give me a second, you fucking panoch.
Yeah, unless you want me to be like 10 seconds behind you all the time, and I know you do.
Yeah, I know. Also, no spoilers, please. You know they're just gonna fucking spoil it. Some douche is gonna show up, or some guy's gonna show up and be like, "Hey, so what do you think of the winner being fucking blah 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 blah?" It always happens. Always fucking happens.
Have we had one of these reviews yet where somebody hasn't inadvertently spoiled it?
Nope. I mean, it's fine.
Also,
Like, I don't
also
know.
I'll tell you this right now. This is also one of the weaker fights, but it has a really good OST.
Oh joy. Just put no spoilers on the title. Yeah, I guess I could, but unfortunately, it's not gonna work.
You can put no spoilers where you want. It's not going to stop the smart asses from coming in and ruining it.
Oh, there we go. Alright. So, I guess I'll just put my face up. No, it should be fine. Because we will be pausing quite a bit.
It is a review, unless you really want to try and avoid.
They haven't caused issues so far. Alright. We got enough people. I think we can start it up now. If Cyber joins later on, then he'll make himself known.
Is this model from the racing game, or is it a custom?
I think this might be from the so do you remember the Jujutsu Kaisen Fortnite game?
No.
Actually, this might be from Fortnite. Cuz he's in Fortnite.
Not one of the better Fortnite skins if it is.
Morning.
Yuji versus Denji. The vessel of Sukuna versus the Chainsaw Man. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
All right.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills.
No,
That's it. They're not going to try and like do a little more of that. How anticlimactic.
I mean, what the fuck are you going to say for Yuji? The fuck? What was that sound? Oh, that's...
He tries.
That's all he does is try.
If Yuji Itadori was one...
This analysis contains spoilers for the entire Jujutsu Kaisen manga and sequel series Modelo. Ooh, Modelo. Many of the manga panels used are from TCB's fan translations over Viz, due to being more accurate to the original text.
Fuck off.
I really wish Death Battle would show examples of this where it's relevant.
Thing, he was strong.
No, I'm sorry. You don't get to be like, no, this fan translation is more accurate because I said so. No, fuck you. You don't speak Japanese. You don't read Japanese. You don't fucking know.
Who's TCB?
I'm going to take the people who are officially paid by the series and have the license to do it over your shitty little fucking translation.
Well, what is TCB? Like, is that like a company or is that like an individual? Also, pay attention to the black boxes. I will.
Lay dying, he made Yuji promise to help others and not to die alone.
You know, I actually forgot about that because once Gojo dies, Man, he just completely forgets about what his grandfather wanted.
Yuji would keep by joining
I guess, real quickly, special grade source. Special grade sorcerer? Oh man, Modelo is really doing a lot of work carrying that shit. Alright, likes.
Yeah, I guess his likes are pretty much there, I guess.
Dislikes Sukuna Mahito mass murder. How did Gojo not end up here, but fucking Jennifer Lawrence did?
Jujutsu High, a school for up-and-coming
Yuko's his
sorcerers training to
girlfriend,
rid the
isn't it?
world of cur-
What? I'm pretty.
Yuko his girlfriend.
I'm pretty sure Yuko's his girlfriend at the end of the series because I'm not gonna say anything. Now's not the time.
Essentially monsters manifested by humanity's fears, hatreds, and anxiety.
Also, hello, Lacrosse. And the Viz translation. And the Viz translations are actually ass. What? Retro, if you're in the server, can you provide an example for why you're why you believe you shouldn't be using the official translation? Can you provide an example in the server? If you have one, it's not a big deal. I know a lot of people don't like Viz translations.
Yuji, unlike everybody else, he didn't have a magical curse technique. Oh no, he had something way worse. After consuming a cursed finger, like a literal finger, Yuji became possessed by its original owner.
I hate to tell people this, but if you don't like Viz's translations, then that means you also don't get to use the subbed version, which is subbed by fucking Viz.
Oh, then just DM me then. Because you have me in DM.
Like, I hope people understand that, like, oh, I don't like the English translation of the manga. Well, okay, that also means you don't get to use the sub, because the sub is translated by fucking Viz too.
Of curses.
Is it?
Ryomen Sukuna.
Yes.
Oh, fucking hell.
Because usually if they get the rights to dub it, they usually also get the rights to sub it as well.
Can anyone confirm if the Viz Media, if the sub is done by Viz Media? Just
Because I know because that's what happens with Naruto too. Because Naruto is subbed by Viz,
Powerful sorcerer in
and it's pretty much like 1-to-1 with what it says in the Viz manga.
All right.
And Yuji's willpower was the only thing holding Sukuna back from controlling his body, killing everything in sight, and taking over the world. So Yuji got to know his surly new roommate, and perhaps one day he would show him a kinder, gentler path. A classic shonen hero's journey if I've ever heard one. Yuji would track down and nosh on the rest of Sukuna's
I'm surprised they actually didn't go the
before
route
they
of
cause
basically
any-
saying that Sukuna is his great grandfather or great uncle.
I mean, he effectively is technically.
more
Well,
trouble
isn't he
fulfilling-
the grandfather of his grandfather?
No, no. I think no. That's way too close because Sukuna's over 1,000 years old. Sukuna's brother is Yuji's dad. It's weird, but they are related. That's why he's so compatible with the fingers because Kenjaku made them related. Hard not take Kurama from Naruto is a better character than Sukuna. You're gonna have to elaborate on that more, Jeremy.
His late grandfather's wish to use his strength in service of others, surrounded by friends. Helps that he's getting a first-rate education from the strongest sorcerer alive today, Gojo. Gojo
There is no education Gojo can provide that is first rate. Let's not start lying on this soon into the death battle now. Gojo can't teach for shit.
Gojo doesn't fucking teach anything, and all the other students say so as well.
Gojo teaches the same way they were taught how to dodge a ball on dodgeball. That's the best way I can say it. Oh, we're giving him domain expansion. Interesting. And we're giving him shrine, which to be fair, he technically does have shrine, so that's fine. Modelo basically confirms that. That's
will
fine.
teach Yuji to harness and manipulate the absolutely absurd amount of cursed energy he inherited from Sukuna. Cursed energy
I don't know if giving him binding vows is fair game, to be honest.
is basically like evil.
I think that's assuming because he's like 80 years old, and surely he has it.
Yeah.
And enhance his already superhuman.
Because isn't that the same thing with like the new Shadow Simple domain?
No, he has simple domain. He got that from if I remember correctly, he got that when he transferred memories with people during the month. I'm fairly confident he used that in the fight against Sukuna. If not, that shouldn't be there then, because you shouldn't assume characters have abilities unless you have good reason, and there's no good reason to believe he has simple domain
skills he learned from his gramps.
unless he demonstrated it.
In close quarters combat. Yuji knows Taido, a Japanese martial martial art derived from Okinawan karate. It focuses on agility and flexibility with the inclusion of spins, twists, tumbles, drops, rolls, and fleet footwork. Which he combines with jujutsu techniques like divergent fist. Yuji strikes an enemy so fast that his cursed energy takes a second to catch up, hitting his opponent twice and messing up their rhythm. By perfecting that timing and applying cursed energy within 1 microsecond of a hit, Yuji can achieve the Black Flash, increasing the power of his hit by a factor of 2.5.
Gojo stated they can perform the Black Flash well if all what that was needed was the timing. This shows that microsecond reactions are necessary for sorcerers to use Black Flash. No.
Have anything you want to add to that?
No. What Gojo specifically says is if timing was the only factor, he would be able to do it. But you have other things going on there. Yuji, we don't know if Yuji's timing the energy or if he's just feeling the rhythm of everything else and the timing just comes naturally. Because it's never explained how Yuji Black Flashes at will. He just starts doing it. And to be perfectly clear, you can't backscale Yuji to Gojo. Even if Yuji becomes the strongest special grade in Modelo, that's because anyone else of value is already dead. I look, this is fine for Gojo. I'm fine giving this to Gojo. Not sure if I'd give it to Yuji personally. I don't think I need a statement for that. Hang on.
A feat that would require reaction speeds nearly
Can you just send me the pictures, bro? I don't use TikTok. I don't have an account.
faster than sound. It's basically impossible to do at will. You're so in the zone when you pull it off that it fully restores your cursed energy and boosts your output to 120%. Yuji's Black Flashes are so strong in particular, the author himself stated that 5 in a row would have been enough to instantly kill the special grade curse Jogo. Who did this? And this? And this? How many has Yuji ever done in a row?
Sorry about that, Retro. Like, I mean, I do appreciate that you sent it. It's just that, like, yeah, I don't use TikTok.
7. And that's not even the nastiest thing about Yuji's punches. Because another soul resides in his body, Yuji learned how to target the soul itself, doing damage to opponents who could normally regenerate from his hits. Yeah, this pink-haired brat was a jujutsu product.
That's so it is a healing negation with a caveat. If you are targeting their soul, if he's going up against an opponent that you can't verify has a soul, because not every verse says that a character has a soul, that's not something you presuppose, then this healing negation does not work.
I'm actually going to take it one step further and actually disagree, not on your premise, but on why it's usable. Mahito heals because his soul heals him. He's using the powers of his like curse technique and his soul to heal his body. If your healing factor,
that's right.
If your healing factor is not tied to your soul in any capacity, I don't think this negation should work on you.
That's a fair point, because Mahito's technically having his body adapt to the shape of his soul, and that's why he's able to heal the way he does.
So I would say this is a hyper-specific healing factor negation. I would not say this is valid for all people with a soul.
Granted, if Yuji was fighting like Alucard would be fucked.
Oh yeah, because Alucard's healing is directly based on burning a soul or swapping to a soul for sure.
Yeah, so that's just us giving us an example of like a soul-based healing factor.
Yeah, there are plenty out there. It's just that they're not all soul-based healing factors, so they shouldn't all be susceptible to this negation if that's what they're arguing.
But at the same time, if you also have soul resistance, you should also be able to resist this technique if you have shown soul resistance above what Yuji can output.
Possibly. I'm gonna say possibly, because that would require some like examples to like go back and forth on.
Well, because he's attacking the soul, and from that case, if your healing factor has shown that it can heal, like let's say your soul-based healing factor has shown that it can heal beyond what Yuji has shown the damage, then I think that should be a fine thing as well.
Alright.
could normally regenerate from his hits. Yeah, this pink-haired brat was a jujutsu prodigy, perfect for Gojo's dream. You see, it's lonely at the top, and Gojo wanted to train a
Yeah, fucking talk to us about Gojo's dream that no one fucking followed and no one gave a fuck about once he died.
Retro, thank you for the examples. I'll talk about them later on. We'll try and get through the video first, and then we'll come back to that. So if you're still around, if not, you can see it in the next stream.
Of reforming Jujutsu Society until one fateful battle when Gojo was sealed away and Sukuna.
Battle is a strong word. That wasn't a battle. That was a massacre.
That was that was a one-sided ass whooping where they dragged everyone into the subway station, so Gojo wouldn't harm hostages.
And then it still didn't work.
Yuji's body, then proceeded to, well, commit that whole mass murder thing he was always going on about. Yeah, turns out Sukuna is evil. Like, really, totally, completely, irredeemably evil. And it also turns out that every twist and turn in Yuji's life was orchestrated by the body-hopping sorcerer Kenjaku in order to resurrect Sukuna and bring about the curse apocalypse.
No, be accurate. His mother.
True, that is true, and the story will never reference that or touch on that at any point.
Same with that panel that they showed. That's a dropped plot line too.
And so, having failed his grandfather, Yuji's outlook shifted. No longer would he fight to protect others, but to kill curses. And after Sukuna hopped bodies into Yuji's best pal Megumi, the king of curses became numerous.
Best pal is debatable.
Yuji's defeated powerful disaster curses like Hanami and Mahito, survived being slammed so hard he cratered the earth. And his
Also pause. You're being very generous when it came to the Hanami fight. That was a combination of all of the students helping each other and Todo, especially helping Yuji. Because remember, during the Hanami fight, it was Todo who was clapping them around so Yuji could get his blows in.
Yes, but how do I say this in a way that makes sense? Yuji never wins a one-on-one fight in the series. He only wins jumps. So
wait, even against the Death Wind paintings, I thought he beat his brothers.
I'm under the impression they got assistance back and forth. That might be his only 1v1 win. I'll have to go back and check that one again.
Yeah, because Nobro beats the other one. Oh no, it was the tag team method.
Look, we'll take a look at it afterwards. Is Toto the most smartest character in the verse or not? Fuck no. But he's certainly up there.
Yuji's shit list. Yuji's defeated powerful disaster curses like Hanami and Mahito, survived being slammed so hard he cratered the earth, and is comparable to sorcerers like Maki, who tanked getting rammed through entire mountain ranges.
Wow, we are really using the anime to upscale this shit. That's wild.
Yuji also learned how to use super advanced abilities like reverse curse technique to heal himself from crazy damage, like getting his torso shredded into chili. And in some other sorcerers' cases, even regrowing lost limbs. Though it takes a lot of energy to regenerate blood, so after going on a cursed object feat.
If Yuji absorbs our British, it should gain body capable that long since cursing. That's what I thought. My body allows me to convert cursed energy into blood. Due to sharing the same physiology as death, pain, and wounds, Yuji should be capable of replicating the regeneration, like Izo regrowing his arm and Chozo healing from holes in his chest. That's fine.
In frenzy, he learned how to manipulate his own blood to speed up his healing, or fire it like a blood beam. A poisonous blood beam. All of that combined made Yuji just tough enough to finally take on the King of Curses. Although greatly weakened after his victory against Gojo. RIP. Literally. Sukuna was still the de facto strongest being alive. But after hitting him with a Black Flash, Yuji actually copied Sukuna's main ability. Gojo's plan all along. This was Prime. With it, Yuji can slice apart.
Okay, let's be very super clear here. That was after Yuji had a technique that every blow he got on Sukuna was progressively weakening Sukuna, whether it did damage or not.
Yes, but Black Flash is about being in the zone, so activating the Black Flash is not relevant. Like, because he would have activated it anyways at that point. How much damage did the Sukuna is the part that matters. Or I guess the part that would matter for what you're saying. The poison part is very important. Let's see.
An enemy's flesh, the ground beneath him, even the having two souls in one body. Enough hits can even cause those two souls to separate. Like a souped-up version of his normal punches. Even better, Yuji finally gained access to the most powerful weapon in any sorcerer's arsenal. A domain expansion. Basically, a pocket dimension created by the sorcerer where their ability will hit no matter what. No contact needed. If you're trapped in Yuji's domain, you're getting sliced to ribbons. With all his power and training
I like how they didn't show a scene of his domain expansion because we never actually see it happen.
and righteous fury, Yuji severed Sukuna's soul from Megumi's body, freeing his friend from the demon's clutches. But not before offering Sukuna one last chance at redemption, which he rejected before dying because, well, evil, leaving Yuji to
Will hit no matter what. Yeah, because the way domain expansions work is all attacks are guaranteed to hit. However, and this is the part that matters probably for this death battle, I don't know, we haven't seen it yet. We've never seen a speed blitz in a domain. Because the only characters capable...
Unless you take Modelo, where if you assume that scene with Mahito was the speed blitz where Mahito's using...
No,
vital transfiguration.
I am of the opinion that before the domain activates, like he's saying domain expansion, but Yuji stops the domain from activating. I am not of the opinion that Mahito gets the domain off in time. But that would be the best example if you believe the domain activated. I don't think it did, but that would be an example if you want to go with it.
Turns out the cursed objects that Yuji consumed made him part cursed and slowed his aging to a...
Why it says really important for the fight? Oh, I'm sure it will be. You didn't reject it because it was evil. He rejected it because he thought their belief was BS, considering what it took for them to win. He was right. Honestly, calling Sukuna evil isn't entirely valid. I wouldn't say he's evil. He just has a completely warped perspective. Because he's so much stronger than everyone else that the only guy who understood what he was like thinking was just Gojo.
Giving him decades of training and battle experience. He's mastered blood manipulation.
Yuji is stronger than Gojo and Sukuna by time Modelo. Give me the statement! Give me the statement right now! Where the fuck does that come from?
This
fuck out of here! Where's Cyber at?
I haven't read Modelo, so correct me if I'm wrong. This is never stated, and this is an assumption by the community because he should be, right?
So, it is never stated that Yuji is stronger than Gojo and Sukuna by time Modelo. Unless I'm missing information from an ad or something, because Cyber's told me the ads have hype statements. So I'll check in with Cyber later, but
you would think that they would show the hype statements if they're going to make this claim, right?
I would disagree with this because Deborah was on Sukuna's level, and it was heavily implied Deborah and Yuji were basically on the same level throughout Modelo. So I'm gonna need a source on that one, Death Battle. I'm gonna need a source for that shit. If anyone else can source it, fucking let me know. Let me know.
Pull off Black Flashes at will and shredded entire cities apart with shrines.
Now, to be fair.
Oh my god, they're lying through their teeth about this feat too, because we talked about this feat ad nauseum.
Let's hear what they say.
Pull off Black Flashes at will and shredded entire cities apart with shrine.
Cities?
Those are not shredded cities. Those are the explosions of the dust left by curses.
Bro, dust scaling.
They are lying through their fucking teeth.
Oh no, bro, you don't gotta lie.
Because me and Zim have talked about this feat at nauseum. This is the explosion caused
by destroying the curses.
By the curses. This is not destroyed buildings being flung up into the air. They are manipulating panels and lying through their fucking teeth to make this sound more impressive than it is. Because if you don't, then there's nothing here.
Wouldn't be Death Battle without that sprinkle of manipulation in there. Also, to be clear about something, my issue is not scaling Yuji to Gojo and Sukuna and their feats. My issue is saying he's stronger than them. That is my only issue here. Get me a fucking statement, someone, please.
Just like Gojo and Sukuna before him, he became the strongest. But what actually make someone truly
Surpassed Gojo, Nanami, and Sukuna's Black Flash records. Dodge
Why is
piercing.
Nanami there? Nanami's not that impressive.
no,
he just had
no.
like a sort of like busted ability with critical hits.
He had the most consecutive Black Flashes at one point, so he did hold the record. I think what Nanami said was Gojo holds the Gojo did hold the record for the most consecutive Black Flashes, but Nanami had the most Black Flashes overall in a single day. Withstood Mahito cratering him into the earth, created a 4-mile wide dust explosion with his mantle. Kept on fighting with his liver pierced. That's relevant,
Okay.
but not they didn't mention why this is relevant. Cursed energy is supposed to come from the stomach or liver area and goes to the body. So if Yuji can keep fighting with his liver pierced, that means that he can keep fighting with his cursed energy being like fucked with.
They're also saying created a 4-mile wide dust explosion. You don't know how wide the explosion is. They are assuming that off of pixel calc, off a skewed perception of like the perspective of where you see the explosions. You can't actually tell how big they are.
That's fair.
wrong. For Sukuna, it was the power to stand alone atop all others. But to Yuji, it was the opposite. The only reason he had survived as long as he had was because of the mercy and sacrifice of his friends. So Yuji brought together friends and allies, new and old, to create a world eventually free from curses entirely, fulfilling not just Gojo's wish, but his grandfather's as well.
That's a very, very nice way of saying I didn't give humanity a choice. I just fucking took away curse techniques.
Like a fucking Chad. They are very much saying it a lot nicer than what actually went down. Also, very generous on giving Yuji that sort of glaze when he disappeared for like 60 fucking years and did fuck all nothing besides play pachinko machines.
Wouldn't it be 70 something? Wouldn't it be 70 something? Because he was still, I think, wasn't he 16 by the end of Jujutsu Kaisen?
Yeah, but I think it's only 50 or 60 years because Nobara is old, but I don't think she's like 80 or I don't. What's the time gap? I don't care about your opinions. Goodbye, curses. Damn straight. This analysis contains spoilers for the entire Chainsaw Man manga.
Okay, so why is this one like we're not going to use the Viz for fucking Chainsaw Man?
It's these. Life sucks and then you die. Especially for the young boy, Denji, who was so poor and unlucky, he doesn't even know his last name.
Canonically sold one of his balls?
Yeah, you had to.
Well, I mean, good for him, I guess.
Alcoholic father forever.
No, not good for him. He's in debt to the Yakuza because of his father.
One of those fucking, one of those things where it's like fucking, literally chapter 1. Guys, I never read Chainsaw Man.
A diet consisting of whatever garbage he could get his hands on, all Denji had in this world was his dog, Pochita, who happened to have a chainsaw sticking out of his face. Some things
Damn it!
out of reach.
Why doesn't he just heal his nut back?
He probably did once he got when he got merged with Pochita.
Pochita wasn't an actual dog, obviously. He was a devil. Monstrous superpowered beings literally from hell that are created by and represent humanity's worst fears. In Pochita's case,
No,
the
pause.
personification-
They're trying to make this sound closer to Jujutsu Kaisen. What they actually are the literal concepts of the fears of those objects themselves.
So are you saying
They are literal conceptual beings.
so if humanity didn't fear them, would they still exist?
If they feared them in the first place, then they would come into being. But if they stopped fearing them, they would grow weaker.
Okay, but they would still exist. Oh, look at Butchetta over there being a chill guy, being a fucking chainsaw.
of chainsaws. Oh, he's so cute. Who would be afraid of chainsaws? They're the most versatile tool in the world. Perfect for chopping trees, opening cans, massacring your foes. Apparently, Pochita.
Okay, I'm gonna stop that right there. Chainsaws are the biggest pain in the ass fucking tool to use.
Oh yes, because you are actually a person who uses chainsaws for a living.
Yeah, I have, and they are the biggest pain in the fucking ass. Not only are they super messy, but the chain can come off the tracks super easily. Okay, so and something that people get wrong when it comes to chainsaws, you know how people like to make out that they're like little swords at the end that spin?
Yes.
They're not. So what they're more representative of are little teeth. They're more like little hooked blades that hook inwards, so when they go into the tree, they're actually ripping. They're not slicing.
I guess that makes sense. Also, Pochetta eats a devil. Humanity directly fears it less or even forgets it. Yes, but they'll mention that later.
No. If Pochita, okay, so if Pochita eats a devil, then that entire concept disappears from the past and the present.
I was gonna say, would you rather just wait for them to say it before you like elaborate? Because they're gonna talk about it. You know they are. All right, let's continue.
Last part, as he and Denji hunted down and killed his devil brethren. It's a tough job, but when selling your testicles won't pay off your dad's debts, it'll do. That is, until Denji was cornered and forced to learn about those two universal constants. Life sucks, and then you die. But sometimes, if you're really unlucky, there's a third option. Born from his and Pochita's contract, a literal deal with the devil, Pochita would become one with Denji's body in exchange for Denji to live a happy life. And so the two fused into a half-human, half-devil hybrid, the Chainsaw Man, aka a one-man, blood-soaked devil-slaying machine, the perfect candidate for the public safety devil hunters, led by this piece of
Oh, it's Best Girl.
With nothing controlling him but his raging teenage hormones, Denji would battle all of devil kind in the hopes of one day getting laid. And he was a natural at killing, not getting laid. As the Chainsaw Man, Denji can
He has
through just about anything.
an absurd amount of bad luck at getting that to happen.
Ah, so you related to him.
Not Denji specifically, but the second protagonist. There's a conversation that Asa has with Yoru that hit a little too close to home for me.
Chainsaws can get better, dude. I did buy one for my mom and has been having the easiest jobs handling it when she's got to take care of some stuff at the fields. The most bothersome chainsaws are the bigger ones or the old ones.
And generate new
Kyle probably uses big chainsaws at his workplace.
Well, small ones suck too because it's the chain. When the chain slips off the tracks, you have to get like this special key that comes with it. 'Cause
yeah.
Depending on the model, they come with different like adjustable keys. And if you adjust it too tight, the track won't spin, and then you'll just end up burning the motor. If you do it too loosely, the chain will just fucking fly off again.
Well, you heard it here first. Let us continue.
chainsaws from any surface of his body. Or swing him
They are
around
a
on
fickle
massively
bitch.
long chains. Oh man, that's so cool. It helps that Denji is incredibly powerful.
All right, devil physiology, blood fuel regeneration, chainsaws. Can turn objects into chains. Oh, you can turn objects into chainsaws too. That's pretty chill. Pochita, existence erasure via consumption. Denji Man, Denji and Pochita fully fused.
I think they're getting that confused when Yoru turns a bike into the Chainsaw Man bike. I think they're getting that one confused.
Okay. Well, we'll see if they elaborate on it later.
Capable of lifting and throwing cars, surviving being blasted through several buildings, and moving way faster than the eye can see. And if he happens to get torn apart by some ornery devil, no biggie, because he can regenerate from just about anything. Denji has survived being sliced to pieces, having his head torn off, being dipped in demonic stomach acid for hours, and
Oh. Did you ever read?
I have not read the novel.
Okay.
even getting his heart ripped out.
Devil's name regeneration should also make them resistant to poison. The Violence Fiend is constantly exposed to poisonous gas, yet remains unharmed.
Yeah, that's pretty true, but I'd also go a little bit further and say that like Denji was able to consume and fight the nuclear bomb devil, which means he's also immune to like radiation. He's also fought there was a volcano one too, so he's also immune to some of the gases and stuff.
So now we're giving volcanoes gases. I see how fucking it. Whatever. Fucking Chainsaw Man, strongest soldiers right here, guys.
No. Back the fuck up.
No.
I said I didn't know if volcanoes had radiation. I never said that the gases weren't poisonous.
I want you to concede your point. The invulnerability stops gases. Then fuck you.
Chainsaw Man didn't regenerate his heart. Oh no.
Not the time. Not the time.
Generated a Chainsaw Man. Even
I can't.
Gosh darn it! Every time I tell myself I'm gonna get YouTube Premium, I keep forgetting to. Alright, hang on. Also, actual quick praise for Death Battle for a minute. Quick praise. I'm actually glad they're starting to include this shit in here, so it's not a random as fuck, hey, he's actually immune to the poison we mentioned earlier, but we didn't tell you early on, so you thought it'd be a win con and lead you on. So this is, I hope this continues going forward.
Denji and Pochita won't stop them. When Denji was stuck in this alternate dimension, he and Pochita still possessed a metaphysical connection with their stomachs. While his healing factor can be overtaxed, all he needs to do is drink some blood and he's back to full health. And considering that chainsawing devils apart is basically an infinite blood exploit, he almost never runs out. Only limited by the violence-induced psychotic frenzy he enters in combat. Well, he's not actually crazy. Denji might be, okay, definitely is an under-socialized moron led by his dick, but he's surprisingly clever in combat. Almost always thinking outside the box and coming up with so dumb.
I've actually seen the scene where he just kicks him in the balls and just keeps kicking him while he's down.
It's very funny.
Strategies to take on devils that should be too strong for him. In short, Denji was the perfect soldier and was rewarded for his efforts with something that began to resemble a happy life. Aki, the stern older brother, Power, the bratty younger sister, and Makima, his boss and the girl of his dreams. All Denji had to do to finally score with that dead-eyed
So
redhead
so they're just not going to bring up. Okay, so they're all fine going through all of the spoilers for Modelo, but they're not going to basically say that he basically inherited a younger sister with Nayuta,
Well, hang
the
on.
new control devil.
Well, hang on, because they might bring, because they seem to be going in order here, so I'm sure they'll bring it up after Makima's, well, death.
most fearsome devils in existence, like the Typhoon Devil who created a massive hurricane, or the Bomb Devil who could blow up most of a city, or the Gun Devil who could travel around the world and kill over 1 million people in about 5 minutes. But, plot twist, he had to kill Makima too, because she was secretly the Control Devil, one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Everything she told Denji was a lie. The happy life he created, the family he made, all of it was designed to be torn down. All with one goal: to force Denji to break his contract with Pochita and become her servant. Order 66ing every devil she didn't like. But when Denji did break,
While Denji and Pochita have been separated for extended periods, this is because Denji did not want to rejoin. The two can reunite much more quickly if they want to.
Pochita took over. Now Pochi might look cute,
That's very true. That's
but the Chainsaw
shown
Devil
during the fight with Makima, the Ageless Devil fight, and
is one
I
of the
think portions
strongest
of the War Devil fight.
Okay.
and scariest dudes in the universe, capable of tearing through hordes of devil hybrids like nothing. More than enough to give Denji his opening to beat Makima by cutting her up into sashimi and eating her whole. A very similar solution to the Chainsaw Devil's most powerful ability. Anything Pochita eats gets deleted from existence. Yeah, like it never happened in the first place. World War II, gone.
What? Yeah, so because of the way Makima's contract works, any attack on her with lethal intent apparently just gets transferred to somebody else. So in
It
order...
is-
Oh, I guess you can
It is
explain this.
it is the biggest, like, I
Loophole?
couldn't figure out a way to stop her from winning bullshit. It is literally the closest thing I have seen to, like, Wonder Review, how Wonder Review works. Basically, it's a loophole in the contract where it's like, if she gets injured, but by something that's not intending to hurt her, or through, I guess through malicious intent trying to hurt her, the contract doesn't activate, therefore she won't regenerate.
So in order to keep her from coming back, Denji had to lovingly kill her. And that's why he ate her.
It's not a nuclear frickin' I knew not your power. He also ate the Death Devil. Yes, Denji ate death, which means no one on Earth could die. Oh, you think that's messed up?
So-
Let's talk about his next romance.
So they're about to talk about the War Devil, but they don't talk about the Death Devil. The Death Devil is the strongest devil in Chainsaw Man. She's the strongest of the four horsemen, and she's the strongest devil in hell. I can get to later what that scales to, but just keep in mind, by all rights, death should be above everything you see Yoru do.
Asa, a sweet, shy, awkward girl, perhaps Denji's one true love, except for the fact that she shares a body with Makima's sister, Yoru, the War Devil, who herself is in love with the greatest warmonger of them all, the United States of America.
That's cool.
Yoru was determined to use her love of the USA to drown the world in a ceaseless hurricane of blood.
Nice.
Angie, buddy, you ever considered maybe switching to guys or something? Because every single woman you meet has tried to kill you. It was in Denji's climactic battle with the War Devil that his and Pochita's
Lifted a car, large chunks of earth, dodged a spear traveling from the moon to the earth, took a nuclear punch to the face, regenerated from just his heart, outwitted the aging devil, survived the sword strike, contained the mass. So, I don't know who wins, but I have seen a lot of people have issues with the organ sword. So, when we get to that, I'm curious to see what's going to happen there.
Oh, I can talk to you about that now if you want.
No. Kyle, they're going to fucking talk about it. Damn it, if we talk about it now, we're going to talk about it again when it shows up.
Okay, so for things that he has defeated, Rezo, yeah, okay, sure, that's fine. Makima, yeah, okay. I don't know why they put Santa Claus there. She wasn't that impressive.
It's an eye catcher line. It's like a character mention that'd be like, oh, what the fuck? Like it's a hook, we'll call it. Oh, well, anything else you want to say on here, or it's all fine?
I mean, yeah, for the most part, it's pretty fine. It's just saying no, it's fine. Whatever.
The Chainsaw Devil's power, a kind of Denji man, I guess, which he used to kick the War Devil's ass, and she was no joke. Strong enough to shoot Pochita.
While most of Pochita's body was destroyed by the gun goddess's shot, he was incredibly low on blood and could have regenerated his arm. In the rematch with Yoru, Denji Man was tough enough to block several of Yoru's stronger bangs.
That's true.
Does he block the bangs or does he tank the bangs?
Both.
Okay, because blocking an attack is not the same as tanking it. Now, granted, I don't know how he blocks, so he probably just puts his arms in front of him, I would assume, given how the series works. But those are not the same thing. Just, there needs some clarity there on that one.
From across the globe with a near light speed 2-ton bullet from the goddamn Statue of Liberty. Better yet, Yoru was so powerful, she turned Oregon into a sword. Yes, the state of Oregon. Crumple the entire landmass into a blade, fly it over to Japan, and swing it at Denji. And he matched its power.
All weapons made by Yoru, like the aquarium sword, contain the mass of the object or locale she has the ownership of. Given her weapons gain power, the more attachment she has to an object. The organ sword power should exceed the State of Liberty bullet.
Yep, that's true, because she also turns her apartment into a weapon as well.
I've heard issues with this position, but if that's the way to go,
well, I'm going to tell you this right now. A lot of people who have issues with this position don't know how to fucking scale Chainsaw Man, and I'm going to tell them this right now. They've also gotten this calculation wrong because they haven't taken into account how fast she should be actually swinging. Because throughout all of this, have you seen the one feat that they have not talked about?
Are they not going to talk about it where her arms, I guess, come to her?
No, that's also massively impressive. But I'm speaking more about the Star Devil.
Oh, well, yeah, because what do you think? Does that just give base light speed in your eyes, the Star Devil? I'm not too sure on that one because
it would give base light speed and base Star Level stuff. But even just going off the light speed stuff, you would assume you'd have to say because you can keep up with Chainsaw Man, she'd have to also be attacking with the same speed. So you'd have to also
Star level
scale
blaze.
up
Yep.
the kinetic energy to her moving at light speed.
So this one gets a little interesting because Kyle is technically... I'm not going to agree on the Star Devil one, but he is right about the speed. If she's faster, you would have to change the calculations to reflect the speed they're going at. Now, the reason I bring up the mass issue is because she drops her weapons and they don't crater the areas they're dropped to. They're treated like normal objects half the time, which shouldn't be possible if they keep their mass. But
Yes, but you're also assuming that an author has also kept that idea intent when he's trying to just do a fucking fight. It's one of those things where it's like you have to kind of turn your brain off, even though that is the intent.
I was gonna say I guess that'll be up to the individual, because I mean I understand where you're coming from, because the author probably doesn't realize that if it keeps all its fucking mass.
But then by all accounts, if you ever see a character that can like crush diamonds or something like that, and then they're capable of picking something up like some glass, and by all rights they should be shattering that glass inadvertently, even without trying. It's one of those things where it's just like the story's going to be the story. You can't expect them to put logic into everything.
All right, fair enough.
Also threw the American flag at him. The one on the moon.
So, fun fact, that American flag is now white because of how it got bleached.
Sun bleaching?
Yeah. I think it's just straight white now. I don't think there's even like a hint of the flag that was on there. Which, to be fair, makes...
I don't know that.
I mean, it would have been cool if it stayed the same, but you know.
You know, the moon in space. In seconds. And he dodged it. With the whole world literally falling apart, Pochita realized that becoming Chainsaw Man made Denji's dream for a normal life impossible. Something Denji was always too stubborn and selfish to realize until it was too late. So Pochita did what any good dog would do. Eat himself and erase the Chainsaw Devil from existence, creating a new world without him and leaving Denji just Denji. But maybe all this time, Denji was enough. Being Chainsaw Man could not save his loved ones, but being Denji could. Because, sure, life sucks and then, yeah, you'll die. But while you're stuck in between, chasing your dreams with your buds can help make life worth living.
Again, I'm just going to tell people this right now. Every Chainsaw Man scan that they use was from Viz.
Oh, you heard them. All right, let's do this, boys. 3D animation, let's go.
Oh, man. Oh, no. You're fine. You're fine. This wasn't my fault.
I've never felt such a weird cursed energy like his before.
Say your prayers.
What? So that's the way the fight starts, huh? Okay. Is Chainsaw Man on Fortnite? I think he is.
Oh, no. I'm the hero to all. Kicker masses. Magnet to chicks. Half man, half devil. Chainsaw Man. Let's finish this. Chainsaw instant death technique.
Alright, that was pretty good.
Batter up, pink-haired punk-ass bitch.
Wait for it. I realized you had two cursed energy sources in one body, so I separated them. Speaking of...
Oh, so that was a speed blitz, okay. A lot of people assumed when they saw the trailer it was going to be a speed blitz.
Domain expansion.
They're saying his domain, by the way.
No, this is where he kills Mahito.
Yeah. However, they also misrepresent how the domain would work.
Domain expansion. Finally got you to stop moving. See? We can be smart too, huh?
Punk ass bitch.
You know, I heard Yuji was out of character for this fight, but, man, they really just needed an aggressor, didn't they?
You literally could have just had Yuji be the aggressor. Oh, not Yuji. You could have just had Denji be the aggressor, and it would have been completely in character.
This very much feels like they like Denji more than Yuji. This is how I know they don't genuinely believe.
Human and a curse. Brothers. You don't see that every day.
This is where I know they don't actually believe
All right, Pochita.
that Yuji surpassed Sukuna.
Burger place is still open.
And the reason I'm telling you that is because if they believed Yuji had Shrine the way Sukuna did, the slices would never stop. He would activate the domain expansion, start the slices, and then move in with the other attack. That's also why I know they don't believe their fucking bullshit that they spew out. Because they probably would have told the animator to keep those slashes in. But to be fair, Death Battle always fucks that up. Overall, good animation though. I think it was a fun animation, fun fight. I can see why all the Yuji fans are pissed off about it though, because yeah, Yuji was treated like dog shit for this one. Hang on. Zim, is me not believing Americans didn't land on the moon delusional because of the so-called... So there's a lot of issues regarding the moon landing, but this isn't the stream for that. DDFF, show up on a different stream and we can talk about it more, like a Saturday stream. Because I know about the issues with the moon landing, and there's a fuck ton of them.
Oh, wait for a Warhammer stream and you can have it with fucking Mangler.
Oh no, that man will just call me a conspiracy theorist. I love how they act like Pochi eating himself is a good thing, when because of this, all devils that died are now back to fuck over the planet. Well, yeah. It has probably made Denji's life actively more dangerous. What do you mean, guys? He's still the Chainsaw Man. Didn't you see Pochetta come back at the end?
No, he didn't come back at the end, and that scene is because Asa sees him wielding a chainsaw killing a devil, and so she calls him Chainsaw Man.
Yeah, but we already have confirmation that devils can come back if they're remembered. And when Denji's fucking heart shows Pochetta, I'm pretty sure the implication
I
is that...
wouldn't say remembered. It has to be a fear, but seeming that chainsaws are back, that would also inadvertently mean that the fear of chainsaws came back.
No, because he's not the Chainsaw Devil.
Well, that doesn't mean that he has to be the Chainsaw Devil. All that means
Hello,
is that
Musa.
Pochita restarted the basically time where he wasn't there, but then chainsaws got reinvented, therefore the fear got reinvented. He just wouldn't be the same Pochita.
No, what I mean is, like, I think it's confirmed in Chainsaw Man that Pochetta is not actually the Chainsaw Devil. He just really likes chainsaws. He's something else.
No, he is the Chainsaw Devil.
I'm gonna have to go back and double check that. I mean, I know you just read it, so I'll take your word for it for now, but I'm gonna have to go back and double check that, because I've been told, because I remember I heard that and it was fucking stupid, but people have told me that he's not actually the Chainsaw Devil. He's something else. No one just knows what he is. They don't know what devil he's actually supposed to be. They just call him the Chainsaw Devil because of the chainsaws. Do we allow...
If you're not comfortable calling him the Chainsaw Devil,
I mean, I don't...
The best you've got is Hero of Hell.
I mean, I don't care if he's a Chainsaw Devil or not. I'm just saying that technically I've been told that he's not actually the Chainsaw Devil, so chainsaws being around have nothing to do with him. He just really likes chainsaws, I guess. I don't know. Seems stupid to me, but that's just what I've been told. By the way, Denji's normal ass soul is cooked in that domain plus soul slashing combo. So you weren't here for when Kyle mentioned this.
So do you want me to cover that now?
Yeah, sure. So why not? Because we're gonna talk about it again
So
anyways.
Chainsaw Man has no evidence that souls actually exist in Chainsaw Man, or that they even possess one. So Denji being separated by Pochita by Divergent Fist would not work, and no soul manipulation would work either, because you can't prove that there are souls for Chainsaw Man. The only spiritual being that there is the Ghost Devil, but that's only because she is the concept of the fear of ghosts. Otherwise, that's it. There is no other like mentioning of souls.
If there is a guidebook statement that souls exist in Chainsaw Man, do you think it would change your stance on how his abilities work against
No,
Denji?
because then I would need them. I would also need that to confirm that the devils are souls or soul-based beings.
All right. Possibly we just call him the Chainsaw Devil because when he erased himself, Chainsaw still existed. Also, yeah, I could see the Denji favoritism, but yeah, it was an easy call for me. Most people were convinced Denji was actually going to lose for the longest time.
Let's be very clear. They wanted him to lose because people are fucking really into Jujutsu Kaisen for some reason.
That's fair. That's fair. But if you research Chainsaw Man, on average, it had better feats than Jujutsu Kaisen. On average. And that's not including Kyle's massively higher positions than what other people have. Chainsaw Man finally gets a W. Let's go. Oh, actually, I guess now you would say the Bomb Devil would actually be Bakugo, right? Or would the Bomb Devil not scale that high?
No. I wouldn't. She's still slower than because when she in the Makima fight, when she ends up fighting Chainsaw Man, it's not even a fight. Her and the other fiends get their asses whooped.
Oh, so she doesn't get the star scaling you keep fucking talking about. I see how it is.
No, she doesn't scale to anyone who would benefit from it.
All right.
Strong. Just not strong enough today.
Let's break this down into 4 chapters. Their speed, skill, abilities, and
Skill?
Skill! What a concept! I didn't realize skill existed in Death Battle! Fuck me, I am never gonna let that shit fucking go.
First up, who was faster?
Yuji's greatest speed feat is the Black Flash. In order to apply cursed energy within 1 microsecond of a
So, hang on.
strike, Yuji would have to move and react at over 900 times the speed of
So, I want to be clear about something for a minute. I'd say Kyle winks Chainsaw Man a lot when he talks about it. I give Jujutsu Kaisen massively hypersonic speed feats. I believe the lightning stuff is valid. For at least the god tiers, not the fucking rest of them.
Well, it's not just that. If they believe in their own heart of hearts that Yuji scales above Sukuna and Gojo, then even by some fucked up pixel scale, they would still have to assume that Sukuna dodged what's his name?
Oh, okay. So if you're going with the light speed argument, I'm pretty sure they're gonna mention Modelo kicking that to the fucking curb. But
They are. I'm pretty sure they will.
But if I was a genuine, honest to God JJK scaler and a coper, which is just another word for a JJK scaler, I would argue that Gojo Sukuna do not count as part of humanity.
Sound insanely fast.
Okay, here we go. Sukuna contends with Kashimo's EM waves and Jacob's ladder, but his relative speed is unclear. He could have avoided the EM waves before they were fired. Fucking cowards.
As
fucking
true,
cowards. Fucking cowards. They're fucking
the problem.
downplaying the feat. Gone.
Yeah, but here's the problem.
No, he doesn't.
They can call that into question when it comes to Kashimo. When it comes to Jacob's ladder, Sukuna did react to Jacob's ladder. He just couldn't get out of the way.
Which, I'm going to keep it a buck with you. Even if you can react at those speeds, if you can't move at those speeds and your opponent can, does it really matter? Now, hold on.
Well, that just depends on whether or not you're fighting an opponent that also is based on reactions instead of travel.
So this is where I have an issue with the Sukuna thing, because they reference the EM waves, but they don't reference the Kashimo blast that Sukuna blitzes with the world cutting slash. They are deliberately going with the worst possible interpretation of that feat. Which, to be fair, it doesn't matter. It's not valid because fucking Modelo decided to just bend JJK over and have its fucking way with it.
Remember that time Denji dodged that flag that Yoru summoned from the moon?
So you had an issue with this calc, right?
I did.
So hang on. First, we'll give their calc.
from start to impact, all while in the midst of a fast-paced battle. This must have happened in a matter of seconds.
We'll lowball it and say 10. Though it'd probably have to be faster to use against Denji in a fight.
This means the flag must
That
be
is
moving over
vastly
12%
way wrong because it goes from the moon to Denji in a few panels.
It'd probably
I've
have to
actually
be faster
got,
to
I
use
actually
against
done a
Denji.
calc for this, and I'll send that to Zim so he can.
Well, you already sent me the
Show
cat.
people
You
what
can already,
I
you
got.
can already send me. I mean, I can just open up DMs real fast. There's nothing here that like.
Yeah, but but we have like 10 million like talking things.
You know, if you just scroll up a little bit, it's not that far away. Like it's one of the more recent messages you sent me. It's fine. Okay, so this is the spear feat in question. She calls down America's flag, and it comes down, and then immediately attacks Denji.
Given the fact that this is a feat that happens mid combat as they are throwing hands with each other, this is assuming. My calculation assumes at a low ball 1 second, a mid ball is 0.1 seconds, and a high ball of 0.01 seconds, and it gets anywhere between relativistic to FTL.
Yeah, so either, according to Kyle, which to be fair, it's a very simple calculation. The time frame's the only thing you have to worry about. According to Kyle, it could potentially...
Well, this is the problem too, and I think I brought this up when it came to Clive versus Dante, when people were just like, oh, but it took X amount of seconds on screen. Yeah, but the problem is that we're not seeing this in realistic speeds. We're seeing this from a perspective of you being able to view the fight. So you're never seeing these fights in their actual time span.
That's fair.
So using on-screen time limits is never going to be accurate.
Also, I'll reread the fight with Hikari versus Kashimo, but Hikari never dodges lightning. He just tanks it because he's immortal. Zim, would you and Kyle react to could Darth Vader beat the Balrog of Moria video by the stupendous wave? Maybe.
This means the flag must have been moving over 12% the speed of light.
Over 100 times faster than the Black Flash.
Now, Yuji has gotten significantly...
Yuka's Maharaga is confirmed to be stronger in the one Gojo battle. Hang on. Damn it, do I not have the scan? I know I posted that fucking scan.
Oh, the one where it's the same, right?
Yes, hang on. Son of a bitch, where the fuck did I put it? This requires context. Hang on. And I know that Battle loves ignoring that. Give me a second. Damn it, do I not have the official fucking scan? Look, the actual statement is that all of the Maharagas are equal in power. The reason the one that Deborah fought was stronger is because the fight went on so long, it had adapted to its opponent more effectively. Despite this, Deborah outsped and overpowered it with his light technique, so not even the top tiers of Jujutsu Kaisen reliably scale, especially since it was a technique and not Deborah's natural speed. Actual fucking dog shit. Notice how they don't put the scan on the screen.
Since his adolescence, but we know for a fact that in Jujutsu Kaisen,
Here we go.
relativistic speeds are something humanity has explicitly not yet achieved.
So it's pretty clear that
Yeah.
Denji takes speed.
However, Yuji has made a career out of going up against enemies far out of his league by relying on his skill.
And what a career it's been. He defeated...
Oh, I wish I had that fucking scan so I could show you guys. I might look it up. Hang on. Hang on. Son of a bitch. Well, we'll continue the video for now, but just know that shit requires a lot of fucking context. They are being incredibly generous to Denji. Arguing that shit means that just straight up, they just don't fucking compare. Now, to be clear, it wouldn't matter, because you could definitely argue Maharaga doesn't react regardless, but still.
The king of curses all before he was even an adult, and he continued to train and master his jujutsu techniques for decades.
Whereas Denji...
Can I get a statement for him, like, continuously mastering for decades? Like, is there...
You'll never get a statement for that, and also, by the way, that's Santa Claus.
I see.
clever, unorthodox fighter would often get by due to his sheer stubbornness and durability more than anything else.
With Yuji's greater experience and martial arts...
They used POC for the death battle with Dante? I forgot.
Fuck no.
Yeah, I said POC wasn't used, so it wouldn't matter, Sparta.
Had the better abilities.
They literally, like, went out of their way to say, like, no, we're not using this.
Each other and how well they can heal from being cut. So I guess it's their cut ability.
Both could survive pretty insane wounds, though Denji's devil healing factor was superior.
The most Yuji has ever healed were some big slashes against his stomach.
And while other similarly powerful sorcerers like Gojo could regenerate lost limbs, Denji could regenerate almost all of his body from a single cord.
So this is something that they don't talk about either. It's also the fact that Denji has actually shown to have healing factor resist negation as well. Because some devils that he fights, because they should all be able to heal relatively the same way as long as they have blood. Some of them still had plenty of blood and they just did not regenerate like the zombie devil.
Denji's poison resistance and regeneration counter Yuji's poisonous blood. His death painting wounds poison has been cured through reverse curse technique. Denji would have little issue drinking Yuji's blood or powering through blood manipulation. Alright.
Being said, Yuji's soul targeting attacks have done lasting damage against those with superior healing like Mahito.
Not just that, but literally splitting two souls.
We've gone over
apart.
both of those
That's how we
points.
beat
Yeah.
Sukuna, and he
Denji
could
doesn't have a
potentially
soul,
do the same
and
thing to break apart
Mahito's
Denji
are
and
very
Gojo.
different.
However, it's not so simple. Sukuna was already severely weakened at the time, and it took Yuji several hits to separate him and Megumi.
And on top of that, even if Denji and Pochita were
I'm going to step in for Yuji here for a minute. The only reason it took that long is because Yuji had barely gained that ability and started using it effectively. You would assume by the time Modelo comes around, he would have done it a lot faster, if not in just one clean hit. Especially with how much we're glazing Yuji in this fucking death battle.
split up, we
Well, I wouldn't even say they're glazing Denji. They're not really doing a great job at the scaling. If they think that he scales to Sukuna and Gojo, then they would give him the same benefit of the doubt for the reverse curse technique that they have.
Yeah, but their best reverse curse technique feats are healing back limbs. Yuji, I think, technically has a better healing feat than they do, but they at the current moment, they cap at limbs. At the current moment. If I get any more information in the future, you guys will be the first to know.
Doesn't Chozo heal from something a little bit better?
Chozo does, but I think it's still just like limbs. I like.
Well, they already scale his regeneration to the rest of the Death Wound paintings.
I'm
So
trying
scaling him to Chozo should be fair game, especially in
Well,
Modelo.
yeah, they scaled him to Chozo, but like I think Chozo just had like a hole in his chest and that was it. Like I don't want to be that guy, but like that's basically all she wrote there. Now, to tell you fair, I could be misremembering.
connection went apart. In fact, they were split up when they were fighting Makaba, and they had no problem rejoining. No reason they couldn't do it again here.
However, Denji's healing factor isn't unlimited.
Did Sukuna not state he can heal souls, right? Sukuna does state he can, but Sukuna... This is why I don't like the idea of claiming Yuji surpassed Sukuna and Gojo, because they're basically saying Yuji can do everything they can do, and that's not true. That's why I'm not really the biggest fan of how they're portraying Yuji in this.
He'll need blood to heal eventually, and the range and speed of Yuji's slashes would force Denji to tank them to get up close.
Even if he could, Yuji's healing
Yuji could theoretically block Denji's chainsaws by coating his hands in slashes, but Denji's greater speed means Yuji couldn't react in time. Pochetta often... Wow! A speed blitz! A speed blitz! I didn't think that battle had it in them!
What a novel concept.
factor wouldn't last nearly as long against Denji's chainsaws. But But then Yuji could back off, Denji chase him, and so on.
Like an unstoppable
Is JJK's game canon? I don't think so, but I'll double check that. Because if it is, I will have to research it, but I don't think it is. Wouldn't matter though. I think like their best AP feat still Mountain.
an immovable object, neither had a clear edge in huntability.
So what it ultimately came down to was power. Who could do the most damage and wear the other guy down first?
Yuji slicing apart an entire city is one of the most impressive feats in all of Jujutsu
This is a lie.
That's not what he does.
Kaisen. By measuring the
Lying
quantity
to his
His most impressive feat is a lie.
of dust created in his attack's wake, we can estimate he launched over 5.5 million tons of debris into the air. That kind of force is equivalent
Okay,
to
let's
over
pause it here. They are lying about what he does here. This is dust from curses. Because if you don't lie and say that it was dust from curses, you don't get anything even nearly this high.
Yes.
megatons of TNT, comparable to a hydrogen bomb.
But unfortunately for Yuji, while he could cut apart a city, Denji was
Yuji never cuts apart a city. Sukuna does. Again, they are making the assumption that Yuji is 1-to-1. Now, granted, to be fair,
Why don't they just say that instead of lying about the Modelo feat?
I don't think they're capable of it.
Oregon level.
The state of Oregon.
Yuji's dismantle could reach greater yields depending on the dust density used. However, even the highest options would be dozens of times weaker than Chainsaw Man's best feats. These feats also surpass Yoruzu's construction technique and Kenjaku's durability. Okay, I'm gonna give a... Okay, so I know what they're talking about with Kenjaku's durability. So, no it doesn't. But Kenjaku doesn't have a durability feat. That's wrong. They're talking about the black hole. But that's not how Kenjaku doesn't tank the black hole. He has a hyper-specific counter technique that counters the gravity manipulation of a black hole. That is a lie. But if it wasn't a lie, nothing Death Battle has given Denji would surpass surviving the inside of a black hole. Just saying. Sukuna is a fair game because of the vessel gaining experience and compatibility perk, but as skill as Gojo is meh. No, Sukuna's still more skilled than Yuji.
Oregon is the 9th largest in the Union by total area, nearly 100,000 square miles. By estimating its volume, Yoru compressed a mass weighing over 750 trillion tons. One swing from that sword would hit with an energy of over.
You know what's something that they
30,000
actually that they haven't done? Because they haven't brought up 2-speed feats for Yoru. Because Yoru's in Tokyo and she summons the sword mid-fight. So the sword will have to have flown across the globe.
I'm not really sure I agree with compressing as a feat for her, because I don't know if that would fall under a Hack's ability, because of how because she's the War Devil, and she's also infatuated with America, so it's like.
So what the way her power works is anything she perceives as hers, she can do with as she wants. She can turn anything into a weapon as long as she perceives it as hers.
Then I don't know if I would agree with the compression being a feat for her. Now the swing of the sword is fine. That's fine. I don't know if I'd say the compression is valid for her. A technique he gained for being willing to get his back blown out.
Now,
damn right.
Now, did you see how the Yuji one had a speed with its kinetic force? This one is just assuming based on mass.
Yes.
Because again, if they actually did this scaling chain properly, the War Devil should be fighting at over light speed. Again, 4 horsemen should be above all of the other demons, especially at their strongest. And Yoru during the final fight is the strongest she's ever been. And given that, you should be applying light speed to the kinetic force.
He is right.
But either way, just to let people know, that they put Yuji at megatons, so they put him at the highest ends. They basically put him at city level. This basically gets her to island level or small country.
One swing from that sword would hit with an energy of over 30,000 megatons of TNT.
Which is like 10,000 hydrogen bombs. And not only did Denji survive a swing, he straight up overpowered it. That's insane.
Now, something that they will not admit here is by the time she's using the Oregon sword, the Death Devil is already dead. She's already been eaten by Denji.
So can Denji even can they even die in this fight? Well, I guess Denji has a win con, but can she kill Denji?
No. Death reigns forever, but because of that, the more pain and the more people are scared of war, her power is also continuously climbing. So it's pretty much a never-ending stalemate of these two. Basically, she's getting progressively more powerful every second, but he can't die because he's gotten rid of the concept of death.
So, do you think this would be a case that the Death Devil had survived, she would have been able to kill him earlier on in the fight? Or do you think this is a case like it wouldn't have mattered?
I don't think it really would have mattered.
Because I don't know if I agree with scaling him to the sword. Not necessarily like... Because he's overpowering her, not the sword. Like, she's the one holding it. He's pushing her back. The sword's tanking his blows. I'm assuming he breaks the sword, or does the sword just get tossed aside?
I think he breaks it.
If he doesn't break the sword, he don't scale to the sword. I'm going to keep it a buck. If he don't break the sword, he don't scale to it. The sword's holding strong. So let me see if they get a scam for it.
Insanely strong, but not inconsistent. Like the time you're...
Alright, so no. As far... Can anyone confirm if the sword breaks? Because if the sword don't break, Yuji don't scale to it. That doesn't matter. He still would win based on other stats. I'm just saying that's bullshit.
I would also say that, like, once this whole video is done, I can show the people the rest of the scaling chain of how I got Chainsaw Man to where I did.
Yeah, sure.
I can take people's questions and basically explain that shit as well.
We'll have time. A technique, chain scaling Yuji Tamaru's curse technique is broken because of a small villain side character fight. What's more? Oh, Maru's curse technique. I see what you're saying. JJK fans will use his infinite cursed energy from Jackpot and Perfect Spear to have infinite point on universe level. No, I mean you can literally just scale them to the black hole fee and that's it. Granted, it won't.
No.
Yes.
No one scales to the fucking black hole.
How many times do I have to show you the fucking scan where he confirms that the barrier kept it from destroying the planet too? It wasn't just fucking her. That means the barrier that's controlled by someone else has to withstand the black hole, at least a portion of it, for an undisclosed amount of time. Because we don't have time frame because the anime hasn't gone there yet. It's the only thing dubious about it is we don't know the percentage of the black hole being resisted. But I don't think that's how her power worked. But I'll have to go back and check it. The feat is technically valid. Whether or not, we just don't have enough variables to use it. But the feat is valid. Suck a dick. Anyways, Deborah ramming Maharaga at near light speed seems similar to the Gunga's shot. However, with greater mass and similar speeds, the bullet's kinetic energy surpasses Deborah's. Yuji implied he could defeat Deborah, but was unaware of the latter's ever going strength against Maharaga. Yeah, but that wouldn't matter because Deborah stayed to be on par with Sukuna, and you would never assume he got that much stronger because all he got was just new techniques.
Who fired that globe-spanning near-light-speed bullet from the Statue of Liberty?
Sure, Yuji's citywide dismantle was done.
Despite never using them, Yuji should have access to Cleave and Divine Flame. However, they both have a narrow range of effect and rely on the user's cursed energy output. Pochetta regenerated from being bisected by the Organ Sword and withstood the heat of atmospheric reentry, countering both abilities.
Here's the thing I want to ask them as well. Why don't they show the 28% Gun Devil basically breaking out of the side of a mountain? That's better than, like, that's a less dubious feat than the Oregon Sword, and it's better than this.
So character will be universe level when they have infinite energy, right or no? Unless shown otherwise, you would assume when a character gets infinite energy, it's like having an infinite ammo pistol. You would never assume it's, I can output infinite damage.
Unless they have shown that they can utilize every ounce of that infinite energy, you would never scale that 1-to-1. You would just basically say that they have infinite stamina and would never run out.
No, DDFF. No. That's what I'm saying. Like, the barrier is something to be taken into account. It's just that we don't have enough information to use it. How do I say? Not to use it, but using it requires an assumption because we don't have enough information on it. So I tend to just mention it as a highball and move on. I don't particularly care for it. It's just that, you know, if we're going to be lying about feats, why did Yuji know black hole scaling?
Casually, but so was Yoru crumpling Oregon. Yuji's dismantles would need to be 1,000,000% stronger to do significant damage to Denji.
Especially with Denji's OP healing factor too.
Denji takes the final edge in power. All Denji needed was one good hit.
So this is where I'm very confused on that they didn't even attempt to do some of the scaling where he's above some of the other devils.
I mean, there was no reason to. If you could just go with the very last one who has good enough feats, like, there's no reason. Because you have to remember that Death Battle does have to keep, like, a relatively condensed time frame. I don't think they like episodes going on too long, unless it's, like, a really special episode that needs to be addressed. This one is just here because of memes. I think this is another one of those meme matchups.
I think there are people who genuinely wanted it, though.
Yeah, that's fair.
Only a matter of time.
What can I say, Yuji? Denji's just got that dog in him.
The winner is Denji, the Chainsaw Man.
Next time on Death Battle.
Subscribe and join as a member to see more Death Battles.
So to be honest, I think this matchup kind of fucking sucks. I don't think the Sentry scales anywhere near high enough for that matchup to be good. I'm pretty sure Superboy Prime is just going to beat the living shit out of him.
I've heard the Sentry is anywhere from, like, planetary to, like, maybe universal.
I think the best you can argue Sentry is multiversal, but Superboy Prime is far above that. No, the black hole not touch Gojo. Yeah, we'll talk about that one on a separate stream because Kyle's gonna have some things to talk about right now, and trust me, if you guys have any critical, or if you have any criticisms, you save it for that one. Void Body Superboy Prime and DC verse, yeah, bro. What the fuck does Void even scale to? Your cosmology got fucked. Jeremy, your guys' cosmology got fucked into the ground. You don't even scale the DC's cosmology anymore. You fuckers lost. Storm beat the shit out of your guys' cosmology. You fuckers just ain't competing anymore.
What happened with Storm?
Storm basically shit on fucking Marvel's higher tier cosmology and everything. Technically, at this point, the god tiers of DC, my boy Sentry beats the fraud. Yeah. Bro, you can keep coping, Jeremy, but that's unhealthy. Alright, so let's hear Kyle's JJK, or Chainsaw Man scaling. Kyle, please.
I've sent you several scans that you can go over, like, go at your leisure.
Oh, no, believe me, it's already on stream, so, alright. Universe to multi-universal level Chainsaw Man, boys. Let's begin. Pochetta one-shot ate the Death Devil. And hurt War Devil who scales to her. Death is the strongest devil in Hell. This puts her above both Hell Devil, Hell Devil, and Age. There's a Hell Devil?
Yes.
That's weird.
Pochita, before he fights Makima, one-shots the Hell Devil.
Hell Devil and Age Devil. Hell Devil, if a race would erase Hell, and Age Devil would made an entire universe, or infinite-sized universe / world. So. Let's see here. The Death Devil. So, to be as fair as possible, this is Kyle's statements are all Omniversal Storm versus IP jumping BS. Basically, the one above all got shafted, and he's not above all of creation anymore. He's only a part of one creation. There's other creations that are just as valid as Marvel's and just as strong.
Does that mean that there's a one below all that that just got nerfed as well.
Yeah, the one below also got nerfed into the ground. So any higher cosmology being from like DC, for example, should have no issues dealing with Marvel's higher tiers now. There's no way we could ever be friends. Death is your domain. Enjoying life made you weak. You've disgraced us, sisters, but I can't have you dying yet. Be my living weapon until it's time for your next roll. Death Sword. Damn. Alright, so Death Devil scales above Hell Devil and Age Devil, which would scale above infinite size universe / world. Hell is never given a size, if I'm mistaken.
No, but you would assume that it would be pretty much the opposite of the human universe.
It stayed to be parallel or anything like that.
It stayed to be another plane of existence. So it'd be basically as big as you think Hell would be, I guess.
Seems that one's a little flimsy, but that's fine. The other one's fine. So this is the age.
Well, that also means that she scales above the Darkness Devil, and as you pointed out to me, because of the concept of darkness, that should also include the darkness of space.
Yes.
Also above the Cosmos Devil, above the Cosmos. So you can just keep going from there.
Yes, that's where I ran into issues with how the devils work, but because I didn't read Chainsaw Man, I didn't care enough to actually look into it, because I have no interest in doing matchups for Chainsaw Man in the future. And it's not like I do debates very often these days, so it's not an issue. Do we use Spider-Man, Superman crossover, and Godzilla crossover comic run, or not for Void / Sentry? I don't think you do. I don't think you would use that. Basically, a Storm comic story made anime versus is canon on Marvel now. So I'm hearing is DMC greater than Marvel now? Well, no. I think Marvel still has, like, something going for it in its cosmology, but sure as hell isn't the one above all anymore. They need to change his name to, like, the one who gets replaced every 2 fucking weeks. Okay, Snow Devil. Aging Devil world has no ages / time progression. A human walks continuously for 1,000 years. We use absolute bare minimum normal walking speed. No sleep / rest factored in to keep it simple. Step 1, human walking speed.
That didn't transfer over.
Oh,
I was doing it on notes for some reason.
So the total distance they would have traveled would be 43 million kilometers. Assuming they were walking without sleeping and with no other issues at a normal speed for 1,000 years. So how big is 43? Okay, here we go. You have it at the bottom. So the Aging Devil will space will need to be at least 43.8 million kilometers across to allow endless walking for 1,000 years without reaching an edge. To understand how big that is, it's 114 times the distance from Earth to the Moon, about 0.29 AU, nearly 1/3 of the distance from the Earth to the Sun. So one of the devils was able to create a place that would be that massive. It's not endless, or well, Kyle assumes universe or higher because there's no end.
This is me giving a number. If you don't want to accept the Age Devil basically saying that I didn't give this place an exit, and you don't accept that as infinite in size, so I just gave a general time thing that we know. There was a statement later that's 2,000, but I couldn't be bothered redoing the math.
That's 2,000 years, or do you mean like
2,000 years? Somebody has been here for.
Why don't you just literally
the person they talk to has been here for 1,000.
No, I understand that, but wouldn't you just double the number at that point, just times it by 2? Because
maybe, but I'm not sure if math works like that, because math can be a dubious bitch when you.
Yeah, but none of your variables. The only variable that changes is a 1 to a 2. Well, to be fair, yeah, I assume you just double it. But to be fair, I see what you're getting at, because one is like just straight up just like this a copy number. MFTL. So that's the uni arguments from Kyle. Uni arguments. And then Lightspeed. Here's another feat that Kyle included regarding Lightspeed. This is assuming The characters are Lightspeed when they're attacking. I believe Lightspeed is the base, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So, scales above both Gun and Tank Devil. Gun Devil demolished the side of Mount Ilbris. Tank Devil traveled from the Gulf of Mexico, and Gun Devil from Mount Elbrus? Is it Elbrus? I mean, it doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah, Elbrus from the Soviet Union.
Yes. The Soviet Union only has 28% of the Gun Devil, meaning the other 4 horsemen will be massively faster than this. So, assumption, they're attacking at light speed. Arrival, the attack is still happening. They must travel a distance within a light speed combat time frame. So, speed of light. Over 10 meters here. Gun Devil. Distance. Gun Devil will be moving at approximately 729 times the speed of light. And the Tank Devil would be moving at 1 million times the speed of light? Yeah, over 1 million times the speed of light. So, let's take a look at this. So, here they are, randomly vibing. And then they get called in. So, the final panel before...
These are the panels in sequence. I have not cut out any panels in between.
Yeah, so here's the chainsaw going at her. It's right next to her face. We don't see it here because of the perspective. But she's able to get her arm back before the attack has gone through because she seems to blow off his arm. Either that or you could assume she dodges the attack and then blows it up after.
I think it's more of a case the arm comes here and she shoots him before he hits her.
Otherwise, this will have to be, you have to wait for the anime to catch up to see how this is supposed to be done. Because Chainsaw Man is so strong, devils want to eat him to gain his power. Darkness Devil want Chainsaw Man, meaning he is definitely comparable or weaker to Chainsaw Man.
But also, like, you saw, like, as you can see from the Gun Devil feat, why didn't they just use that? That's infinitely better and less dubious than the Oregon Sword. Because the Oregon Sword was for an AP thing, but they could have included this for speed. Can Aki scale the weaker version of Denji or not? God, if he's not Chainsaw Man, then sure.
Alright, so with the information Kyle has provided, does anyone have any questions to his conclusions or anything of the sort? Also, when Kyle gives you guys a fucking scaling position that no one fucking agrees with, oh, you guys are all hunky-dory, but when I do it, I get fucking shit for it. Feels bad. I think the speed scaling you give them is fine. I'm just not 100% sure. I mean, like, so like, there's no way it could be a hacks for them creating that domain or anything. Or I say domain, but like their spaces. Like, there's no way in your mind that's a hacks ability of some kind.
If you're talking about the Ageless Devil, you have no idea how it's made.
Okay.
All you know is that it was made by their own power, so that should scale to his AP.
Alright, that's fair, I suppose. Let's talk about Yuji versus Hayachi now. Wow, it seems no one has an issue with your scaling, Kyle. For shame. And here I was hoping someone was going to be a voice of reason. No, Yuji versus Hayachi is just a win for Hayachi. That's not really much of a discussion to be had. Especially if you take feats over statements, because Yujiro has like next to no real fucking good feats that would put him on Hayachi's level. Or would you just... Oh, shit! Fuck, that reminds me actually.
Well, no, because the best feat Yujiro has, if you're willing to accept the only like super big feat in Baki, then it would be like planet level being able to move the planet from the satellite.
I think it's because no one cares about Chainsaw Man. That is fair. Maybe we'd have to make a video about it for people to actually give him shit for it. Infinity Devil doesn't have infinite AP, so there's an Infinity Devil. He fights an Infinity Devil.
Not that I'm aware of.
Yujiro's gonna be a Tekken 8, so no, I know. I plan to pick up Tekken while it's on sale. I don't think I'll get any DLC. If I do, I'll get Clive, but that'd probably be it. I don't know if I'll get it though, because I don't know if he's worth the hassle. I think Yuji fans will use him to scale to Tekken characters now. Yeah, they will. Alright, Kyle, so I'm going to need you to make a Chainsaw Man scaling video so that way I can see people give you grief for it.
I've got so many things in the pipeline. You'll be waiting a while.
That's fine. I'm a patient man. You of all people should know that one.
You can be as patient as you want. I still have a debunk to fucking respond to.
You still haven't
And I've
finished
still
it?
got a fucking another video that I was doing prior to that.
December. That's what I have to say to that one. The apartment episode earlier on, so Hack's Devil domain is not a power feat. DFF, I'm gonna need you to clarify what the fuck you're talking about there. Well, you have one guy questioning at least, Kyle. So you know there's some criticism, healthy criticism going your way, I guess. Healthy skepticism, I guess would be the right way of saying it. See you guys. There's Jeremy. Yeah, the reaction to the death battle itself is over now. Thankfully they got the correct winner, so we didn't have to spend a lot of time talking about that noise again.
Oh, actually, yeah, I should probably send you this one too, because
I'm
frame of mind. That's how I explain That's how I can explain some of the other scaling as well.
I'm just.
It's not.
Oh well, go ahead and finish your thought. Then I'll say my thing.
This is basically how I initially came to my position when I wrote this out.
Multi-galaxy universal conceptual ratio. When Pochita eats a devil, their name and concept are erased from existence, past and present. Pochita is the devil that devils fear. Meaning, as the hierarchy is based on strength, he is one, if not the strongest devil. This will put him on par, if not above, Darkness Devil, who is the concept of fear of darkness, and space is all darkness. Killed the Cosmos Devil, who is the concept of fear of the cosmos, and one shot the Hell Devil. Concept of fear of hell means above the hell area. So basically, we'll just be scaling above like the Cosmos Devil and the Darkness Devil, and I guess by extension Death Devil and stuff. The Infinite Devil made the apartment infinite, but he attacks, and early Denji don't have infinite AP. Does Mangler have any plans to do videos of versus battles with any supernatural character?
Oh, I think he's talking about the Eternity Devil. The Eternity Devil's not an infinite devil.
Are you referring to the Eternity Devil? He probably is, because he's talking about the apartment being like a loop.
Yeah, he's talking about the hotel. Yeah, he's talking about the Eternity Devil. No, the Eternity Devil doesn't have universal stuff or stuff like that. What it does is it isolates an area. It basically spatially isolates an area, and within that area, time is stopped. That's all you know from the Eternity Devil. You can't really get any AP scaling from it.
Okay, yeah, so he's talking about the Eternity Devil. No, as far as...
I was thinking Infinity Devil. Fucking... I know I have bad eyes, but it can't... Not that bad. I missed something called the Infinity Devil.
I was thinking in the back of my head, if an Infinity Devil exists and Kyle hadn't opened his mouth about it, I feel like something's wrong. Okay, so overall, the fight was fine.
You're being a little bit more generous than I am. I think this would have been better as a sprite fight.
I could see that.
The choreography getting into certain moves was too quick for no reason. And when they did try to show off speed, it was a bit slow, especially for how Yuji fights and how Pochita moves. I don't think they had the speed that they needed to down, and I thought some of the choreography was a bit jank.
Yeah.
But overall, they put a lot of effort into the OST. I thought the OST was pretty good.
Yeah, overall, I think this was a dog shit episode. The research was bad.
I'm gonna call it what it is. given how little effort they truly put into this for both sides, this was kind of a filler fight.
No, think about it. I think outside of Makima and Gojo, they've both been filler fights when it comes to fucking Chainsaw Man.
Yeah, this just feels overwhelmingly like a filler.
Oh, when are we gonna get Columbo versus Light Yagami already? Fuck. Well, alrighty. I think that's about all she wrote. So, any closing thoughts or? I mean, I'm happy Skill's back. You know, because it was missing for a specific death battle that would have drastically changed the outcome. And has the season had any good death battles? Let me check. I think there was one decent death battle this season, wasn't there?
Your guess is good.
No, Ash versus Yugi is before. These are all before. So Cell versus Metal Sonic, Ichigo versus Yusuke, Bakugo versus Rise,
Usuke,
whatever. Gru versus Megamind, and Yuji versus Den. Hey, they actually lined it up to where it's on the left. That's actually kind of cool. I like that. You know, I've actually heard multiple people pronounce his name, and yet every time I read it, it just doesn't sound right. Light vs. Columbo will be on Halloween time.
Yeah, because are you also somebody who reads Naruto and goes, Sasuke?
No, it's Sasuke. No, that one's pretty clear. Let's see.
I'm sure the next fight is big for people who are in the comics, but I don't particularly give a shit about the Sentry or Superboy Prime.
To be fair, it's probably for the best, because whenever we have a vested interest in the fight, we always end up find out they fucking lie to us in one way or another, or their research is so bad they leave out shit anyways. I think Metal vs. Cell was fine.
The obvious bet would be to say Superboy Prime, but I'm gonna say that they'll pull out some obscure bullshit void scaling.
I could see that. That.
What do you bet that they'll try and pull some bullshit scaling where either the Void is like the same thing as the Phoenix Force, or he has fought the Phoenix before?
You're not gonna like what I'm about to tell you. It wouldn't matter, because Superboy Prime would be stronger than the Phoenix.
I don't know if you know much about me, but like my connection to Marvel goes as far as like the movies.
And I bet you never even watched the original X-Men movies.
Yeah, I've seen the one from like 2000, the early 2000s.
Only matchup fit in Halloween theme.
In fact,
no, don't they have another Halloween matchup?
In fact, I'll give a real hot take here. The original Wolverine movie was not that bad. People only really got the shits because of what they did to Deadpool.
Okay, seriously, how badly did nerf Marvel Comics? I mean, like, technically Marvel's cosmology is technically the same. It's just that he's no longer the one above all. Which means that a lot of his statements, a lot of the higher end cosmology stuff technically gets changed in retrospect. Even without it, I'm fairly confident Superboy Prime scales like close to the Darkest Night, which would still put him above the Phoenix Force. Unless someone's going to correct me on my DC, like, and to be clear, I don't read a lot of DC. I'm going strictly off everything I've seen on the internet. I'm talking comic panels and shit, not like people's fucking rant posts.
Well, because of the retcon to Marvel's cosmology, does that mean that Galactus versus Unicron is now wrong?
No, because there's still a multiverse. It doesn't matter for multiversal shit. And Galactus versus Unicron is, at best, a multiversal fight. I think there is higher dimensional scaling, but like Marvel still has higher dimensionality. It's just that they're like legitimate god tiers who are like above all of creation are not above all of creation anymore. Is Light versus Walter White a better matchup than Light versus Columbo? I think he won against the Darkest Knight. Hang on, let's look it up. Did Superboy fight Darkest Knight? If he fought Darkest Knight, I'm pretty sure he scales to or above the Phoenix Force. Yeah, they should.
Doesn't Superboy Prime fight Superman 1 million?
Yeah, but Darkest Knight would outscale Superman 1 million.
Hey guys, welcome back.
Hang on, I gotta look this up on YouTube. I'm gonna double check something. I'm gonna double check this real quickly, but I'm pretty sure if he scales to Darkest Knight, it would just be above the Phoenix Force regardless.
Did the commentator ever get back to you about what they were trying to say?
Yes. Retro's still here, so we can talk about this. So, this is the quote unquote real translation. That's obviously true.
No, I meant my question for me for fucking Chainsaw Man before your thing.
Oh. No, like once you explained it was once you explained it was the Eternity Devil, they just kind of agreed to do and moved on.
Alright, go on, do your little scanny thing.
Well, this is for fucking this is for the translations to provide an example for why Viz is bad. So that's obviously true for Satori Gojo, but Sugori Geto can also wield a grotesque army through his curse manipulation. Official translation: Satori Gojo and Sugori Geto both can use curse manipulation to wield the most grotesque armies. So, the real translation versus the official. Do they say something different? No. Let's break this down, ladies and gentlemen. Let's break this down. That's obviously true for Satori Gojo, but Sugori Geto can also wield a grotesque army through his curse manipulation. Satori Gojo and Sugori Geto both can use curse manipulation to wield the most grotesque armies.
They say the exact same fucking thing, except one is quicker about it.
Yes. So in this scene, they're both saying the same thing. Now, granted, I'll have to double check the paneling to make sure context isn't missing here, but just off the speech bubbles alone, they are saying the same thing. If we surprise him with just one fighter, maybe Zenin would have a chance. Stop making basic mistakes. I don't consider typos an issue.
I don't consider typos an issue either, because I have seen scanlations fucking spell shit wrong all the time.
Do you really need for me to explain why I can't use Black Flash? Well, to break things down for you, it's because of Six Eyes. Official translation, not Gojo not being able to use Black Flash at all. Why can't I unleash Black Flash whenever I want? Why do you think I could in the first place? Because of the Six Eyes? So, in this particular one, this is a bad translation. However, the meaning of both phrases is effectively the same. Gojo can't use Black Flash at will. So for all intents and purposes, why I can't use Black Flash is valid. He's not saying why I can't do or why I can't make Black Flashes or activate Black Flashes. He's saying why can't I use them? Use implies it being a part of his toolkit.
No, I'm going to go even further with this one. This one is...
But this second one is bad.
No, this one is maliciously misinterpreting the official, because in the official, he's phrasing it as a question. He's not saying it as a statement.
Yes. So someone's asking Gojo, why can't you use Black Flash? And Gojo is repeating the question back to him. Do you really need for me to explain why I can't use Black Flash? Now, the second one is weird. Because, well, to break things down for you, it's because of Six Eyes. Why do you think I couldn't in the first place? Because of the Six Eyes? So, this one's repeating the question back. This part is fine. This one is a little wonky. This one is for sure a little wonky.
This is actually where I'm going to double down. I'm going to say, what does the anime say?
Has not gotten that far yet.
If the anime says what the official translation says, then people can go kick rocks.
Let's continue. Okay. Yuji does not have Malevolent Shrine, which is ironic because Death Battle gave him Malevolent Shrine. I knew he can use it. What is this? What is this? No. They're not connected. They're not supposed to be. I'm not gonna say that. What does the original Japanese say here? Because everyone says he has shrine. Every scaler, even Death Battle, said he had shrine. Now, Death Battle will manipulate information and they will lie, but not about descriptions directly. They'll just manipulate the information. I'm fairly confident even the scanlations say he got Malevolent Shrine. Because Sukuna's curse technique is technically Malevolent Shrine. Because he can also use the fire. The only reason he uses the fire with the domain expansion is because of a binding vow.
I'm going to go even further, and I'm going to say that the official translation would be correct, even if it does say that he does, because that's where Cleave and Dismantle come from. They come from Shrine.
It's important.
They're Shrine techniques.
It's important to understand that Sukuna and Gojo have different names for their actual curse technique, but the applications of that technique are the named attacks we're familiar with, being Cleave, Red, Blue, etc. I think what's Gojo's? I think Gojo's technically is Limitless or Invulnerability. No, I think Limitless is the name of his curse technique. Actually, Invulnerability is just the neutral of Limitless. Yeah, Limitless is the curse technique. Yuji has the Shrine curse technique, but Sukuna Godlike Domain is called the Malevolent Shrine. Let me check a scan because I'm fairly confident Gojo. I can't pull this up. Give me a second.
Careful, sus lord.
I forgot what's in my general chat. That's actually the reason. Yeah. Hang on. Gotta go all the way to the top to find the fucking JJK statements. Where is the guidebook scan? Okay, I can show this though. I can show this. This part's fine. Where is it? I'm trying to find the name of Gojo's techniques. I really should have fucking cataloged this better, but that's on me.
You don't type what the scan is supposed to be.
No.
You just mass fucking dump.
Yeah, his technique is Limitless. Yeah. So Unlimited, well, they're all applications of a different technique. The domain is called Malevolent Shrine, not the curse technique itself. Alright, what's the curse technique called then? I'm not saying you're wrong, but then what's the name of the curse technique? If they ever... Do they... I'm pretty sure they just call it... Is it just called Shrine then? Yeah, that's gonna be a pain in the ass later to fucking go through for sure. But let's continue. Official translation... I can't even tell what this is supposed to mean. I don't know if I can explain it well, but if Miguel and I competed physically without curse techniques but with cursed energy reinforcement, I could beat linear movement, but would probably lose in point movement. It's just Shrine? Okay. If it's just Shrine, then fine. Then that is technically a bad translation, but it is not one that massively changes anything.
Well, here's what I have to ask when it comes to people saying, like, it's a bad translation. Is it a bad translation because it's not one-to-one? Because does the meaning change? Does the meaning change where you can't infer the same thing is happening?
So, how do I explain this to people who don't know about sports? This is a bad translation, but not because of it not explaining. It's a bad translation because you have to have knowledge on sport competition to understand what the fuck Gojo is saying here. So what does Gojo mean by I could beat linear movement but would probably lose in point movement? Are you familiar with boxing?
Yes.
Are you familiar that there are 2 ways to win a boxing match?
Yes. You can either knock them out or you can get a certain amount of points on the
There it
opponent,
is.
depending on how many hits you land.
Yep, there it fucking is. What Gojo is saying here is that overall, his ability
land more
physically
attacks.
is superior, but in terms of point gain, the other guy would be better because he'd be able to do more shit, but Gojo's will just be better. So let's say if they were to jog against each other, Gojo could probably go the distance and go longer, but if it's in a competition, Miguel would have like a stop point first. Miguel could probably make it first. This is a lot more. It's better to explain in boxing.
Okay, so this isn't a bad translation. It's a bad fucking analogy.
Well, that I would call a bad translation because the intent is there.
Well, no.
But
I call that very consistent because Jujutsu Kaisen is full of dog shit analogies for how shit works all the time.
Yeah. But a translator shouldn't be making a translation that they're fucking... Because the whole point of translating and localizing is to not have people know this information and still understand it. This is just a bad translation, but not because of what it's saying, or not because of the intent it's providing, but because of the way it's saying it. It's a bad translation. Just Gojo's limitless curse technique in his domain called Infinite Void. Yeah, but he references it as limitless, so that's why I got confused there. So Kuno would be Shrine. Alright, fair enough. But again, so that would be the only translation so far that has been like objectively bad or like objectively wrong then, if he doesn't get Malevolent Shrine, because that's the name of the domain. Give me a second, because I was looking this up, but this isn't what I care about. Let me just double check this real quickly. What is the name of Sukuna's? Yep. Oh, there we go. Cool. Yeah, Shrine. All right. So it would just be Shrine then instead of Malevolent Shrine. All right, that's fair. That's fair. I can concede that's a bad translation. So of the bad translations provided, only one of them had a statement issue that is only relevant to us because we're power scalers. I would say that's not too bad, all things considered. I would not call that inherently awful translation if that's the worst offender. Miguel Curse technique is more comfortable with movement amplification, but Gojo's overall better movement technique is because he has teleportation. They said without techniques. Yeah, but they said without techniques. That was the point of the match there. So, I think we've covered all our bases. I think there's not much else to really say here, unless anyone has any last comments they'd like to add or any final things here. Otherwise, we'll call it here, and I'll see you guys next time on the next stream or video, because I might have another rant up before the next stream, depending on when I stream.
Oh, it depends. You want to place your bet on who's going to win, Sentry or Superboy?
Based on my cursory knowledge of both characters, I am 100% on Team Superboy. I would like to...
And if you had to throw a coin at Death Battle?
You're not going to like what I'm going to say. I'm going to tell you how I think this Death Battle is going to go. I'm going to give you a prediction right now. Sentry wins the fight, but Superboy Prime retcons the fight. Because he has the power to retcon people's backstories and, like, realities.
So you think he's gonna...
I think he's gonna break the fourth wall.
Sentry, so the Sentry is just a normal person and he doesn't get his powers?
No, I think he's gonna retcon Death Battle. I genuinely think... Because the Sentry, or Superboy Prime, can break the fourth wall. He knows about power
Or do you think
scalers. He knows about
do you
everything.
think this is going to be a situation where instead of doing that, he'll just make it so he doesn't pick a fight with him?
I could see that. I could see that happening. All I'm saying is that
So you're saying this might be a tie then?
no. I think what'll happen is if they give Sentry the win, they'll give yeah, that would be cool. They'll give a retcon punch to Superboy Prime where he goes back to the start, and then I'm gonna be honest. I would be very surprised if this is not a death battle where the character actually invades the death battle directly. I would be very surprised if they don't go that route. But again, regardless, personally, I have my money on Superboy Prime. I think there's more than enough to give it to him. And also because the Sentry got ripped in half by fucking Null. Miguel's cursing is more compatible with the body movement speed amplifier than Gojo. Yes. Alright. Well, overall, decent death battle in terms of animation. Kyle likes the song. The research was dog shit on both sides. I've heard people say this is the worst death battle like in a long time. Would you agree to that position or no?
Oh, fuck no.
Motherfuckers out here getting half the hate DMC gets.
No, they're only saying that because again, as much as I don't want to admit it, Jujutsu Kaisen is far more popular and has far more supporters.
To be honest,
Let's be very clear here. Even with this dog shit research, if they said that Yuji won, they would not be in anywhere near as much of an uproar.
Honestly, don't go hurting yourself now.
No, it's because a lot of Jujutsu Kaisen fans have not fucking read Chainsaw Man, or if they have, they literally will not bother to give it its due. You and I have both been through series where people will refuse to give a series its due just because they really want one character to win.
No, I know. That's why I trust you when you're telling me that you're honest, and for the most part, you backed up everything with scans. I just feel like there's something wrong.
And again, I'm sure he who shall not be named, when he sees my scans and my reasoning, I'm sure he'll speak to you directly and not me.
Maybe if you weren't such a cunt.
Maybe.
Kyle, do you agree?
Maybe if he had a little bit of a tougher skin.
How rude of you. You're just a dick. I'm gonna Kyle never agreed with Gojo versus Makima. I don't think you ever agreed with that one, right? You were always against that outcome.
I felt like something was off about that fight the entire time, but I'll only give it this credence. Chainsaw Man wasn't finished at that point, so they didn't have the full scaling chain to go off, because why would they think the way Chainsaw Man goes that it would retroactively also upscale Makima? This is one of those series where at the end of the series, you kind of have to retroscale Makima up to where she would be at her fullest potential. Because if you do that, then she would also be scaling to the rest of the Four Horsemen. Because she was also there during the fight where Chainsaw Man was fighting the Four Horsemen. Which means she participated in that fight and she watched him fight all those other devils that he erased.
We are JJK fans and we don't read. Truer words have never been stated.
So yeah, in retrospect, because I was speaking to Zim about this, this is one of those series where it's kind of like One Piece, where once you look at things in retrospect, the scaling of early series gets really fucked really quickly.
Bardock versus Onion was doo-doo. Kyle, would you smash Makima? The important questions I see. Say it. Say it, you fucking liar.
Can somebody look up how old Makima is? I'm not putting myself in this situation. It is a Japan anime. As far as I know, she's fucking 15, even though she looks 30.
No age given. Answer the question, Kyle.
Well, I'm going to assume off the fact that So when the devil dies, they lose their memories and they just get respawned in hell, or if they die in hell, they respawn on Earth. And given the fact that she remembers the fight with the Four Horsemen, and she remembers fights that go back to World War II, I'm going to say she's old enough.
FBI, we got him! But yeah, no. Alright, well, I think that's it for this death battle. And yeah, so with that said, thank you guys for your time as always. Have a nice day. I'll see you guys on the next streamer video. Take care, everybody, and have yourselves a nice night. And there.